Yeah, y'all, we back with another one. So, Doug finally spoke out about how he feel about Gunna in that Yes Ma'am campaign. Y'all know the Yes Ma'am campaign crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see what Young Thug had to say.
YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
He's not using gang colloquially. The evidence will show he's telling you they are a gang.
Hey man, what you got to tell these people? Back.
From publicly snitching on YSL as a criminal gang to taking a plea deal that let him walk out of a RICO case, Gunna's release from prison has drawn a lot of rumors, drama, and tension. But now that Young Thug himself is out, we're either about to see a much-awaited reunion or a highly predicted rap beef between two heavyweights. Which would it be? Let's find out right away. Is Young Thug out to get Gunna following his release? Unless you're new to the rap world, a lot has been happening lately, and one hot topic that has got everyone talking is Young Thug's release from prison. While his release is a major deal, what's even more interesting is the drama surrounding Young Thug, Gunna, and what many think could be a possible fallout. Following his release from prison, Young Thug posted his first tweet as a free man on November 2nd, 2024. The first tweet read, "Real plea deal, Jack." Seems pretty normal, right? Well, on November 3rd, 2024, he dropped a second more cryptic tweet, and this one got everyone talking. Wham, let's drop one on these rats. Peter Sum connected the tweet to Lil Baby, speculating that Thugger may want to drop new music with the Drip Too Hard rapper. Others, however, believed Young Thug was referring to Gunna. In case you're confused, let's dial it back. We all know rapper Gunna was one of the many people caught up in the highly publicized YSL racketeering case involving both rappers and other members of the Young Stoner Life record label. When he was taken, his fans took to social media, and hashtags like #FreeGunna had been massively used while he was incarcerated. In fact, people didn't think he'd fold until months later when news broke out that Gunna had taken a negotiated offered plea deal. This deal essentially allows him to maintain his innocence while also admitting that there is enough evidence to convict. Now, a plea deal in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in Gunna's case, it went against everything the hip-hop culture held dearly, and that included loyalty no matter what. It didn't help that a devastating clip of him surfaced online where he answered in the affirmative, acknowledging that YSL Records had been involved in criminal activity.
Acknowledge the following statement. I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
He was subsequent.
Yes, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Young Thug feel like Gunna a rat. Nah. Well, I got a problem with Gunna? No, I don't. Did Gunna tell on me? No, he didn't. Do I feel like Gunna a rat? Absolutely. God done it, yeah. Hey, it is what it is. Okay, man, it ain't nothing I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I ain't got no problem with him. Shit, he ain't told on me. It is what it is. You a rat, you a rat.
Sentenced to 5 years with 1 year commuted to time served and 4 years suspended. However, likely due to his status in the rap industry and maybe due to past rumors about him being a snitch, his release from prison while Young Thug remained locked up was all it took for some fans and fellow rappers to brand him with the S word, snitch. By agreeing to the deal, many believed it was an act of betrayal of YSL and by extension, Young Thug.
Oh, he just implicated YSL being a gang, so now
Now hold on, 6ix9ine. You can't be, you know what I'm saying, commenting on somebody else being a rat when you a rat too, bro. No, you can't make every rat situation compared to your situation. Like, you one of the biggest rats in New York, and y'all got a lot of them. You
fat ass home, right? All the people who's locked up, like Jeffrey, like Young Thug, Now he can't go with that defense.
With such a heavy tag, Gunna went from being one of the homies to being an outsider real quick, and the speculations grew even worse. Fans began questioning whether Gunna's plea deal was the reason why Young Thug's case got worse. Just when fans feared for the worst, Young Thug himself suddenly took a plea deal on October 31st, 2024, which saw him a free man with 15 years suspended. Barely 2 days after his release, things began to get messy when he dropped the cryptic social media post that got people speculating about what was about to happen between both rappers. Of course, he didn't name names, but the timing, we have to say, is rather interesting. In fact, when you think about it, Thug and Gunna were pretty tight, and both repped YSL, almost like they were family. So it's only natural that people would think he was referring to Gunna. However, we can't help but wonder the reason behind these references. Could there really be beef between both rappers? Or is this one of those cases where the tweets are overblown and social media just reaching for a story? Whatever the case might be, the tweet about rats has definitely sent fans of both rappers spiraling on X. And look, maybe Thug's just venting, but if you know how the rapper operates, it's safe to say he can be very strategic. He doesn't just say things for the sake of it. If there's shade being thrown, it's for a reason. Some are even speculating that Young Thug might cut Gunna off entirely, especially if he feels like Gunna's actions.
And I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy that since Young Thug been out, Gunna ain't said nothing about him. He ain't said nothing about Gunna. But when we all seen what happened from his Twitter, he ain't come out and say it was hacked or nothing, so is what it is, I guess.
Hurt him in court. Now, before we jump to conclusions, we need to talk about the unwritten rules of rap loyalty. In the hip-hop world, loyalty is everything. It's not just about making music together. It's about standing by each other through the highs and lows, the drama, and the danger. When you're in a crew like YSL, there's this almost unspoken agreement that you ride or die together. By taking that plea deal, many fans believe Gunna broke that code. For some, what he did is unforgivable. Others say it's survival. After all, nobody wants to spend their life locked up. But in a culture that's so big on loyalty, it's easy to see why some feel Gunna turned his back on the team. For now, we can't say if Young Thug is hurt by Gunna's actions, especially as Gunna's attorney mentioned that Gunna was one of the only co-defendants Thug wanted to have contact with while he was in prison. At the end of the day, the people who know the real story are the same ones involved. For now, all we can do is piece together things from posts and lyrics, trying to make sense of it all. But one thing is for sure though, the tension Gunna with the snitch tag is facing right now is real, and we bet it isn't going away anytime soon. Still, none of these would have even been a topic if not for the YSL RICO case, dubbed one of the most controversial in rap history. A timeline of the YSL RICO case. Without a doubt, the YSL RICO case was one of the wildest the hip-hop industry had ever witnessed. It ticked the boxes when it came to legal twists, celebrity drama, massive indictments, and sizzling rumors. It didn't help that the case centered around one of Atlanta's biggest stars and rappers, Jeffrey Williams Jr., aka Young Thug. However, let's start from the top and discuss how the
Hey, ain't it crazy that the case is still going on and the leader of the gang is free? I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life, bro. Like, you have a RICO case, leader of the gang got on probation, but the case is still going on because they still trying to slam. I think it's the last two YSL members only case. That's crazy, man.
YSL collective went from dropping chart-topping anthems to being targeted in a massive 56-count racketeering indictment.
We are here today about a grand jury indictment that was returned that included not just Jeffrey Williams, which is of some notoriety and media attention, but about 28 defendants that operated within our community between the time period of 2012 and 2022.
For starters, let's talk about YSL. For those who need a quick refresher, Young Stoner Life, or allegedly Young Slime Life, is a record label founded in 2016 by Jeffrey Lamar Williams Jr., popularly known as Young Thug. YSL started as a collective of artists across Atlanta, and soon it became more than just a record label. In fact, YSL could be described as a movement with its artists dropping hits after hits, and soon Young Thug was a name you couldn't ignore in the rap scene. However, it wasn't just the music that made YSL stand out. They were also creating a lot of buzz for how tight-knit they were, and the artists, especially Young Thug and Gunna.
That's my brother, like, he signed to me, but it's like, it's not even about a signature. This my real brother.
And we all know in the world of rap, this family type of loyalty comes with rumors, especially the type that links to the streets and affiliations. And let's just say these attract both wanted and unwanted attention. On May 9th, 2022, the YSL would eventually gain the dreaded attention of law enforcement when news hit that the Fulton County District Attorney's Office had slammed YSL with a 56-count RICO indictment leading to Young Thug's arrest.
It is our allegation that they operated as a criminal street gang and commenced to do havoc in our community. That havoc includes crimes of violence, crimes of thefts, crimes involving drugs.
We're talking racketeering, conspiracy charges, attempted murder, and even drug and gun-related charges. And at the center of it all, Young Thug. For fans, this was huge and almost unbelievable. Young Thug, the guy who made Stoner and Best Friend, was now being called out as the leader of what authorities claimed was a violent criminal organization.
They are committing conservatively 75 to 80% of all of the violent crime that we are seeing within our community.
Thug's arrest, along with the charges against YSL as expected, caused a stir in the entertainment industry. To his fans, he was a misjudged rapper, but to prosecutors, he was something else entirely. They argued that Young Thug was a violent gang leader and claimed to have evidence to prove this. Now here's where things got a little crazy. This evidence heavily focused on his social media posts, lyrics, music videos, and a threat he had made to shoot a security guard in the face.
He's not using gang colloquially. The evidence will show he's telling you they are a gang.
Now let's talk about how this case got so big. When you hear RICO, you might think of mob movies and organized crime. But here's the thing. RICO laws let prosecutors go after entire organizations rather than just individuals. If you're part of a group where even one person is suspected of criminal activity, the whole group can be charged. That's exactly what happened to YSL and how Gunna got to be involved in the case. Evidently, prosecutors weren't just out to get Young Thug, but also YSL as an organization. Things fans saw as entertainment suddenly became evidence, and both facts and rumors were being pieced together to form a case. In fact, on August 10th, 2022, Thug was slammed with 6 more felony charges, and on October 13th, he was denied release from jail ahead of the trial scheduled for January 9th, 2023. It was almost like the DA was determined to make an example of the Atlanta rapper, especially as he received new charges after an alleged drug exchange took place in court between Thug and co-defendant.
Hey, that was crazy. How the hell you gonna try to hand that man some drugs right in court? Crazy.
Caliph Adams. To his fans, all of these felt wrong, and his defense attorney mirrored these sentiments, pointing to a different side of the rapper's life. In fact, music industry veteran Kevin Liles testified at Thug's bond hearing, claiming that the rapper wasn't just an artist, but also an influencer who was there to change the people around him.
Jeffrey is not just an artist. He's an influencer. He is a person that I think was put here to change the people around him.
According to him,
this whole thing that people are talking about, it's not him. The Jeffrey I know give me clothes off his back.
A 15-year-old boy, Corey Jackson, also testified about how the rapper tutored him, took him along on tours, and motivated him to be a better person.
And he told me whatever knowledge you have to be able to spread it, because this is who you are trying to inspire and show them that they can become successful. So that is what he took me there for, and to show me how he was able to achieve what he had.
They could have left Shorty at home. Could have stayed at home. You didn't have to go up there and say all that.
The internet was also lit with opinions, with some claiming the DA was exaggerating the whole thing and others suggesting there was more to the story, just when you thought the case couldn't get any. Crazier, Gunna, who was taken in during the bust, was released from jail after he took an offered plea, pleading guilty to a single charge of racketeering. Fans and other
we ain't seen Shorty since that day.
Rappers were divided by the act. While his fans were just happy to see him free, others had pretty strong opinions about his release. Some rappers like 21 Savage, Lil Baby, Boozy, and Lil Durk, as well as many other people, started calling him out on social media, throwing words like snitch and rat, hinting that he might have broken the street code and betrayed Thug. In 21 Savage's letter to my brother, dedicated to Young Thug, fans believe he took aim at Gunna with the lyrics. Once you cross that line, it ain't no trying to fix it. You want me to forgive you? Let's be realistic. I can't kick it with your kind like I tore my meniscus. How you go from co-defendant to a witness? They'll stand on couches with you, but won't stand on business. Lil Baby, during a stage performance, was heard telling the DJ to turn off Gunna's song, calling him a rat. In an interview, Lil Durk also expressed his opinion about Gunna being a snitch.
You believe that Gunna told that Man, I don't sit up and play games, man. That man told you should have went in there and kept your mouth closed.
Boozy too didn't fall to call the rapper a rat, reacting to the viral clip where Gunna admitted that YSL was a gang. Now, from a legal standpoint, Gunna's deal didn't exactly mean he gave evidence against Thug or anyone else. But in the court of public opinion, especially rap stands, it didn't matter. People saw him walking free, while Thug and other YSL members were still locked up, and that was enough for fans to assume the worst. It didn't help that just months after he was released, Gunna decided to release new music. On June 16th, 2023, he released his fourth studio album titled A Gift and a Curse, where he rapped about his innocence and denied the snitching allegations. Still, this wasn't enough to stop people talking, with everyone questioning how deep his loyalty ran, especially as he seemed to have gone back to the booth like nothing happened. This stunt only deepened the curiosity and skepticism with which he was now being viewed in the rap industry. Young Thug, on the other hand, continued to face his legal battles, especially with his highlight publicized trials, which officially started on November 27, 2023. It was riddled with many highlights, one of the biggest being when Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele, claimed that the Thug in his name stood for truly humble under God in the courtroom.
That was not what Thug meant to Jeffrey.
He went further by saying,
Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. Brian Steele the GOAT. Clap it up. Brian Steele the GOAT. If I ever get in trouble, that man got to be my lawyer.
If he could ever make it as a musical artist and help his family, himself, and as many others out of this endless cycle of hopelessness, he would be truly humble under God.
Another highlight was when an attorney representing YSL co-defendant Miles Farley, aka Lil Miles, was allegedly caught with prescription pills in court. Before deputies could place him in handcuffs, he tossed his cell phone at another attorney so it wouldn't be seized, but it hit a deputy in the head instead.
One of the attorneys had some contraband, as well as ended up throwing a cell phone at one of my captains.
In one court appearance, Young Thug was first seen jamming to Halftime while in court, and the most crazy part was seeing his attorney chuckle at him like they were both having the time of their lives. In another appearance, he was seen listening to Lifestyle as its lyrics were being presented in court. On October 31st, 2024, it was revealed that Thug had taken a plea deal, letting him walk out of jail a free man.
I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing.
Now that he is out of prison, we can't help but wonder what is next for the rapper, especially when it comes to his relationship with Gunna. Where do Young Thug and Gunna go from here? After everything that went down with the YSL trial, some serious questions are being asked when it comes to the relationship between Young Thug and Gunna.
That's my brother. Like, he signed to me, but it's like, it's not even about a signature. This my real brother.
Are they still friends and brothers, or has someone crossed over the rival territory? Well, we will break it all down, stating with the implication of Young Thug's cryptic post and what it means for both rappers. It's important to once again point out that Young Thug and Gunna weren't just artists signed to the same record label. Their relationship went beyond being collaborators. If anything, they were brothers. From shared moments as YSL associates to supporting each other's craft, it was clear to both fans and industry insiders that these two had built a real bond. Thug mentored Gunna and brought him into the YSL circle, and in many ways, Gunna's success can be said to be directly tied to Thug's influence. But here we are now wondering if this bond has been broken. Gunna insists he never snitched and maintains that things are good with him and Thug. In his words, it's the same. It's love, always. Our relationship is our relationship. In regards to the snitching allegations, he claims people are being misled into believing that, and even issued a press statement. While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way. Even Gunna's attorney, Steve Sato, also refuted the claims against his client, saying he did not snitch to get out of jail. He has said nothing and is not cooperating. Despite this, there's no escaping the cloud that hangs over him ever the trial. So are they still friends, or has Gunna's alleged snitching turned them into rivals? For now, it's hard to say. Young Thug's post may, after all, be a harmless tweet with no ill intent that has simply been misconstrued. And if on the other hand, they end up being rivals, there's nothing we can do but watch out things play out between them. Now let's talk about Gunna's reputation post-trial. Ever since the case, Gunna's been dealing with the snitch label that he just can't seem to shake. And if we're being real, hip-hop doesn't forget, and it rarely forgives when it comes to snitching. Gunna might say he didn't snitch, but the streets have a different way of reading things, and right now, many feel he broke the code. This whole label has haunted him no matter how hard he tries to move on. It's almost like a stain that can't be washed away, affecting everything from his street cred to his fan base. In the eyes of many, he crossed a line, and that snitch rep can be worse than any diss track. It sticks, and it can be a career ender. Gunna can drop all the fire music he wants, but for some fans, it won't matter. The fact that it seems so easy for him to return to his flamboyant song world, all decked out in designers, without much explicit consideration for the carnage left behind him following his plea deal, while his label boss fights for his freedom, is almost too difficult to forgive. Now the rapper appears to be struggling to rebrand himself, but in the rap scene where image is everything, this is a nearly impossible task. While it isn't hard to commend his resilience, especially with the fact that he's still making music, to regain the respect he once had is a whole different story. For those new to the world of rap, you may be wondering why snitching is such a big deal. In simple words, it all comes down to loyalty, which is one of the most unbreakable rules in hip-hop culture. Followers of the culture understand that the industry, especially among black rappers, has its own code, and loyalty is its backbone. Look at all the hip-hop feuds and fallouts we've seen, from Tupac versus Biggie to Nas versus Jay-Z. There's always an underlying theme of respect, loyalty, and sticking to your word. For many rappers, loyalty is like a currency and is one of the things you can't fake. So when it's broken, it's almost impossible to get back, and when you're labeled a snitch, it is bound to cut deep. In the rap scene, snitching is not just a betrayal of trust, it's a betrayal of the culture. That's why so many fans, artists, and OGs are quick to turn their back when someone's seen as disloyal. For Young Thug, it goes without a saying that loyalty means everything. For him to be wrapped up in a case that nearly took his career as well as his freedom, only to see his right-hand man possibly compromise the integrity of YSL, that is sure to leave a bitter taste. In case you don't know, the hip-hop culture of loyalty isn't just specific to your crew, it's about loyalty to the streets and even to the fans. So what does it mean for someone like Gunna to get back in the game after being late?
Alright, so I ain't gonna lie. Young Thug probably still in his feelings or whatever. He probably mad or whatever like that. But do I see him and Gunna getting back up with each other doing music? Definitely. At some point in time. Not now though, because if he already deemed you a rat, then it ain't no coming back from it right now. But eventually they might hook up and eventually they might do some songs together. But y'all get in the comment section and let me know what y'all think. It's your boy Buddha. I'm out.